for animals tonight.
Well, the person behind me is really mad. I'm doing 10 other, bro. I didn't even speed up, because we passed that one car, and then I was just like, I'm in animal searching mood. I forget that this is the one road that actually has traffic this late at night. Okay, but yeah, we were going to tell stories when we don't see animals.
And I got a pretty good one tonight.
Yeah.
So, this is something that happened like a month ago.
I thought it was more than a month, but close enough. Yeah?
It feels like a month ago.
Yeah.
So we experienced some like really heavy flooding like a month ago.
Oh yeah, that was a month ago.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was like, yeah.
It was almost exactly a month ago.
I know, like our friends, like their roads were like completely submerged in water.
My brother's yard was completely submerged. In fact, he said a part of him and his girlfriend's house flooded and got water damage because of what was going on. But they live in Ording, so if you know where Ording is, you will understand.
Mm-hmm.
That entire town got evacuated. I'm shocked that they stayed.
Yeah. All right. So my story that I had actually involved, that a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was at work one night, and there was this man that was kind of sticking around like the last hour, and he said he didn't have a ride or anything. He wasn't from the area. He was from Texas, and he said he met some online friends that he was going to meet up with. He gets to the airport, and they completely ghost him. Like, they didn't show up. He didn't have, like, service on his phone or something. You couldn't try to, like, contact them. So, he's just, like, he was stuck there. So, I offered to give him a ride to his... Well, he actually asked to give him a ride to his stuff. I was like, sure, do you just need to get to some shelter? And he's like, yeah. So, he found this one Catholic church that had, like, just a roof.
Well, out in this area, they have winter shelter. It's for homeless people.
Okay.
He probably found where they were having winter shelter that night. That's what it sounds like, because it was a church.
Right.
You can, in our rural communities, if you're homeless, most of the people that are homeless out here aren't all whacked out. They're all just veterans that can't afford to pay the high taxes, okay? So
Yeah,
a lot of the homeless people out here, they just have really bad PTSD. And so a lot of the churches, they just let homeless people sleep there.
Yeah,
they ban people if they abuse it, but if it's someone like that guy, he would have just been able to stay there, get food, get warm, get a shower, etc.
Yeah, because the rich are really, really... The poor rich need another 10 million in their pockets anyway.
Yeah.
So back to the story. So I clock out of work that night. It's like 1 a.m. I go take him to get his stuff, and then I take him to the shelter. This was a night before all of the flooding started. So, I offered to pray for the man, and he accepted it. So,
which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. So
I prayed.
I just prayed that he would find a way back home, I think. I don't recall exactly.
He didn't know if he could get home? Oh.
I don't know.
You should have gotten his number and made sure if he didn't need a ride to the airport, whatever.
I should.
We're too friendly.
Yeah. But anyway,
we're going up into the boonies tonight. I don't feel like dealing with traffic. I feel like seeing more deer than cars, so give me a second.
Oh yeah.
This road's mostly closed anyways. We're gonna have to turn around at the top. Like you see that RV right there? Like these RVs up in here? They're allowed to be here because most of them are just like veterans.
I
know that van right there.
I wasn't done with my story.
I know that van right there is a veteran. And then there's a guy at another pull out here who always sleeps there because he's a veteran. I know this because my town actually bought the guy up here who sleeps in the pull out a car because his car broke down and he lives in it and stuff. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go slow. There's a game trail near here, but keep going.
Okay.
I'll interrupt you if there's deer. Yeah. Or tweets.
Yeah, sure. So that man, I really hope that he didn't get swept up by the flooding, because it really seemed like, the days following, I was like, oh dear Lord, that man came to he came to this town expecting to see friends, didn't see them, and suddenly got suddenly basically homeless and got flooded.
So the friends told him to come to our town?
Actually, I think it was
I thought he was just abandoned at the airport and rode the buses till they stopped, because the buses stop in the town that you work
Oh,
That's the furthest the metro goes.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah,
I have a coworker that takes the bus to and from work, and he's younger than me, so that's a little bit, different. But
yeah, so he has to walk from a few blocks away from your job.
Yeah, so
that's where the buses end.
Yeah, so they actually give him permission to clock out 10 minutes early so he can catch the bus because he doesn't drive. But I hope the best for that man.
I thought there was a raccoon on the side of the road. So this pullout right here is the homeless guy who got a nice car via the town. We had a fundraiser for him.
Yeah.
That car we bought for him. Well, I didn't donate because we're too poor, but I prayed that he would get a nice car, and he did. That's good.
That one man drove that one night. I think he arrived at Seattle.
SeaTac.
SeaTac. That's in Seattle, right?
Yeah, the super giant airport. We've been there a couple times. I can't say I'm a big fan of airports, but
whatever.
You can't tell because this is my preference in regards to stuff to see. The scenery is my preference, but I'm going slow because you never know where the deers are, especially this time of year. Post-hunting season, they're a little bit extra riled up, so you're not fully sure. But I do know where they go during early fall, at least. So, and I know that around this corner is where they mostly hang out at night. But anyways, continue. Slowly.
I'm actually done with that story.
What? Oh yeah. There's no resolution other than we just hope and we'll keep going slow. This is where we see them the most.
Right.
So keep them peepers peeling. Yeah. And if you kind of coast and go slow, you don't really scare them either. So, but we're gonna have to turn around. Well, I wanted to go a little further because there might be animals further down, but we're gonna have to turn around at the road close because this road actually washed out during the same time that your story took place.
Which feels odd because this is much higher up in the mountains.
Well, that's why it washed out. There was something crossing the road up there. Spooked the tar out of me for some reason.
Didn't get to see it.
Well, it was way up in the top of what my lights can capture. So we'll see. It didn't seem too big. Honestly, it could have been a bug. I am that alert right now. Anyways, I'm shocked we haven't seen anything yet. Do you think it'd be worth it to go down towards the closure? Because there might be less, people?
Sure, if you really want to.
Because last time this road closed, I went up this way and I went down the closure and I saw a pack of coyotes. That's the only time I've ever seen coyotes other than when I call them in myself. So. Sorry, it's getting a little bit misty. We're going to have to be careful though. It's 36 degrees and we don't want to get caught in the snow. It's supposed to snow tonight. I hope that they've got a detour sign. I hope that it's open enough that we can turn down here. It doesn't look like it. Let me show you proof.
Yeah, it's closed.
It's closed. No access. It's just a sign, so we can just turn around when we get closer.
Yeah, so we can just go through here for a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna
turn around. I know where the closure is. I drove up here the day that it closed because I was trying to see if there was going to be any landslides at that one spot that closed. That road's gone. So, that thing on the side of the road that we just passed was a dead creature, by the way.
Fun.
Kill. Which I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. But you got any more stories? Because otherwise I'm just going to start telling stories.
I can't think of any stories right now.
Well, that's...
I saw something in the... Yeah, I saw something in the road
it
there.
Looks honestly like scat, if I'm going to be honest with you. Alright, this is around the area where I saw the coyotes. Oh, and where I saw that black bear in the fall. Everyone was so shocked that I saw a bear. They were like, you saw a bear on a somewhat busy road at dusk? And I was like, yeah, it's not that shocking. And so all my family, they were freaked out. They were like, you saw a bear? We only see bears when we go up the super far dirt back road. You saw a bear on a paved road? And I was like, bruh, I go up here to look for animals. Of course I saw a bear out here. And then they were like, that's not common at all. And So I posted onto like the local community group that there was a bear up here. And everyone commented, of course there is a bear up here. There's at least 3 of them. I live up here. One of them was like, I live up here, and there's a couple of them that we see. And I was just like, you know, I thought that, but my family told me that it's not normal. Even the family members that grew up around here were like, I've never seen a bear out here.
So there's like a little bit of a conflict there, I guess.
Yeah, I was just like, well, I'll take the people that actually live up here and spend a lot of time out here like I do. Like, for example, I know that the road is literally the same thing as a dirt road right here, so I slowed way down.
Yeah, there's like a ton. There's so many potholes there. I messed up the camera view. Anyway.
And I'm shocked that there's like nothing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a little bit stormy, and it was stormy earlier, so they could be a little bit bedded down tonight. But that doesn't mean that we can't tell some good stories, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to turn around really soon though, because there's not gonna be any places to turn around much further down. I just need to think, do I turn around up here? Or, you know, I'm gonna do it in the trees. This place gives me the heebie-jeebies right now, so I'm just gonna keep going. And you know, if you've lived in the woods as long as I have, if you have the heebie-jeebies somewhere, nah. As someone who every time they get the heebie-jeebies in the woods at night, especially out here, sees some weird crap, yeah, no. There's a reason why I believe in cryptids to some extent. Yeah, don't get me started on that. I'm probably going to want to drive out of this area before I start talking about some of the crap I've seen back here in the middle of the night when I get the heebie-jeebies. Oh, man.
And I have no comment on that right now. Because guess what? I didn't grow up around this area. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't have any stories about this area,
This
really.
is about as low as we can go before we're going to start dealing with people's houses and stuff, so I'm just going to turn around up here in this corner. You know what? You have a backup camera, so I'm going to make whoever has this house right here think that we're trying to back into their driveway. Look at the beautiful trees. Okay, your camera's very blurry right now. As long as I don't hit the mailbox, we're fine. But if I hit the mailbox, we're leaving a note.
You're good. You can keep...
Okay. I see it now. Okay.
Yeah, you can straighten out now.
Nah, I'm going to try and turn around. We're good. There's definitely a camera back there. I can see it flashing at me. Poor person that lives there is just like, what the heck? It's like 9:30.
Well, and if they see us turning, I'm sure if they have a camera feed, they're going to see us turning around and realize they weren't actually going to go for us.
This car is so nice, though. My Accord's like a friggin' bus, which is fine. Okay, the only problem I've had with it in the last year is the battery. Okay, so I just got a new one.
Did you tell your dad you lost the pedal bit?
I forgot about that. Yeah, we were gonna replace the battery today, and because it was like 30 degrees because it's supposed to snow, I was just like, I'm gonna wear gloves when I reinstall this battery. Yeah, that worked out great.
Yeah, you dropped the piece.
Like, literally, I dropped, like, the little piece of the battery hammock thingy or whatever it's called. And, like, because I don't know what any of the stuff on a car is called. I just know that it comes apart this way with this tool and comes back together this way with the same tool. Okay? That's all I know about changing a battery on a car. Okay? But, like, my goodness, why am I hot? You know what? We're stopping. I'm taking my jacket off.
Oh, okay.
I don't like being in wrecks, so if I get distracted and there's nobody on the road, I stop. Anyways.
And Rex. That sounds like the name of a dinosaur.
You mean a T-Rex? Oh. I believe that's just what happens when you back into somebody, like a T-bone. A T-Rex.
A nice medium rare T-bone.
Oh, I forgot how bad these potholes are. And I don't feel like driving around them, because every time I actually drive around them, there's some freaking loser in a giant Ford F-350 who drives down the middle of the road going 50 miles an hour, who's like, oh my goodness, you're in my lane, and then like friggin' honks at me and drives off the road and goes around me. Like, every time at like this corner, if I try to go around all this nastiness, there's somebody right here. So
it's like some eternal some external power notices that, and it says no, you cannot.
Well, now that we're out of the weird, more creepy part of the road, there's a reason why a lot of the people that live out here get the heebie-jeebies on Mud Mountain at night. You want to hear about it?
Sure.
As long as I don't creep myself out too much, which you'll know if that happens because I'll start speeding. Or I'll just start not stopping. But anyways, so this is stuff that's actually happened, but like to me, like stuff I actually saw. But I'm gonna get to that after I tell you about like the backstory of why supposedly all this stuff gets seen out here. So there's this hut that like is a really old building that was like hand built and abandoned like decades ago. And so the rumor around our small town is that some weirdos lived there and did like demonic stuff.
That
and,
there
like,
in the road is what she thought was scat.
Honestly, it kind of looks like dirt.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Anyways, where there was like nasty non-Christian stuff going on was the rumor, and like the locals call it the witch hut for a reason. Supposedly there's
something crawling
in a little mouse.
Yeah.
I guess the animals are out tonight. That's good.
Nice.
Anyways, so like they would do like all sorts of weird like demonic stuff, and one of my very close friends who you happen to know, don't mention their name, actually, because we all grew up out here, was like with his friend one day and was like, he's like, we're gonna go and check this place out. We're just gonna go to the witch hut and we're gonna break in because it's been sealed off for like a decade or two. And they're like, we're gonna break in, you know, because like whatever happened, the legend is that they did something and scared themselves away and never came back and like sealed it and stuff. Well, my friend broke in and he said it was very creepy. The story goes that when him and his friend broke in, his friend got such a bad feeling that they stood outside and wouldn't go in. And he went in and saw, because it was like a little cabin, it's like one little room, yeah? Mm-hmm. And he went in and he saw like one of those pentagram things on the floor, and he couldn't tell what it was, but it was red, either ink or blood. It's like really, like, it was like just like a darker color, like it almost looked like, you know, dried blood. And he was honestly more freaked out at the fact that there was something hanging in the middle of it from one of the rafters.
Oh man.
Yeah, he couldn't tell what it was because it was so decomposed, but he said it looked kind of like a body. And he said that it scared them so bad that they just left. And he said he never told anyone about it. He was like, I'm pretty sure if there was just a body there that someone's already reported it. Even though, like, they literally were, like, they brought, like, tools to dig out, like, the friggin' boarded doors and stuff, you know? And, like, because of what happened there have been a lot of weird sightings out in this area at night, especially if you're camping or hanging out, especially back in the lower part before you get on this more main part, down by the hut. We actually turned around, like, around where the hut was. And so, like, you see shadows out here that are not very explained. You can get followed by things that will chase you down the road. A lot of times, the legend out here goes that there is a black wolf-like dog that runs around on the road down by the hut, and that if you, like, look at it the wrong way, it will chase you home and, like, harass you. Or, like, also the legend goes that that's how the two teenagers died up here. That's a whole nother story though. When I was in high school, a couple kids from my school came up here to go hiking because there's a big trail over on the other side of the road, where that car was parked that we just drove by. So, because that's the trailhead for it. They were hiking on that trail, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And they never came back. It took a couple months for them to find their bodies. And from the looks of it, they fell down the gorge. But, like, it didn't make sense because they were, like, halfway down, but not all the way at the bottom, and they had drowned. Yeah.
What?
It was really weird. What ended up being ruled was that they had, like, the investigation ended with them having some sort of pact and doing it together on purpose. But my friend, the same friend actually, he's very involved in stuff like that. He actually was a part of the search party, and him and I think it was a state trooper and somebody else who they didn't know found the bodies, at least one of them. And he said that it was very disturbing because, like, they were just, like, at the bottom of the gorge scanning around, and he, like, looked up the gorge and was like, they're right there. They're, like, halfway up the friggin' gorge. And, like, they had to, like, get, like, a helicopter or something like that to get them out. Like, if, like, why did they drown if they were halfway up the gorge? And the gorge is, like, thousands of feet deep, okay? Like, and he told me that he thought that because it was ruled, like, cause of death drowning, that it was a flash flood that was stopped by the dam up there. But we have no idea about that, because, I mean, there's lahars that happen up there, like, most times during the summer, but this was, like, I think it was in spring, which is not the typical time for lahars to go through there, and most of the lahars or the debris furloughs that go through there are from collapsing glaciers instead of, like, you know, Mount Rainier being happy. So, but yeah, it doesn't make sense because sure, the dam's tall enough to fill the whole gorge. We know that because the flooding did that. But, like, if there was a debris flow that was that big that killed them, it would have 100% made the news. Because literally we've had smaller debris flows that come through there that make the news. You know? It was just really, really suspicious.
Yeah, this sounds like it
some
could be a
people,
full-on, like...
when it happened, they were throwing around the theory that it was that dog that scared them down the cliff. It was the dog or that they went swimming and drowned and the dog was dragging them up the cliff. Stuff like that. It's just small town rumors, really, but it is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It is very unfortunate, though. Those people, they were, as I said, they went to school with me. I didn't know them too well, but my friend knew them a lot better than I did. And he said that they were the coolest people. So, I have no idea what happened for sure, but it was ruled a suicide. Double.
Meanwhile, I don't have nearly as compelling of a story like
Yeah.
that with, you know, any, like, classmates or, you know, schoolmates passing away like
Hey,
that.
you didn't grow up in